If you main Mario, your go-to strat off stage is forward air, and that's it. If you main Donkey Kong, you feel as though you've already won as long as you pull off a single spike in any fight. If you main Link, you probably complain a lot about the Zelda franchise not getting enough representation in Smash. If you main Samus, you are the most likely to blame losing on lag. If you main Dark Samus, you use taunts entirely too much. If you're a Yoshi main, you're single, but no one understands why. If you're a Kirby main, you're single, and it's obvious as to why. If you're a Fox main, you literally can't comprehend why anyone might want to play as any other fighter. If you main Pikachu, you think it makes you stand out. It doesn't though. If you main Luigi, it's by accident. You tell people you main Lucina, but we all know who you actually main. If you main Ness, then I have nothing negative to say about you, sir. Have a nice day. Please don't hurt my family. If you main Captain Falcon, despite whether you win or lose, it doesn't change the fact that you feel like every matchup puts you at disadvantage. If you main Jigglypuff, you have lost fights that you would have otherwise won because you tried to rest when you definitely didn't need to. If Peach is your main, you have never taken a stock with a Bob-omb from her down special, but it's a good thing you don't care. If you main Daisy, you are actually the best player, but you never play seriously. If you main Bowser, without a doubt, your favorite move is Whirling Fortress out of shield, and you abuse the hell out of it. If Ice Climbers actually are your main, then it has to be out of pity. If you main Sheik, you tell people your favorite Zelda game is Hyrule Warriors, which doesn't count, by the way. If you main Zelda, you only start playing seriously after losing a stock. If you main Dr. Mario, you are just as likely to willingly go off stage as you are to take your own stock. If you're a Pichu main, your favorite opponents are Donkey Kong, King K. Rool, and Bowser. If you're a Falco main, don't ask me why, I just assume you make a lot of money. If you're a Marth main, then this has been the case since his debut in Melee. If you main Lucina, your favorite move is easily her side special. You also don't realize she has a counter. If you main Young Link, you are not a young person. If you main Ganondorf, it's because you watched someone on YouTube take a stock by edgeguarding with his forward smash and holding it for a comically long time. You, however, have never pulled this off. If you main Mewtwo, disable is exclusively followed with forward or down smash, regardless of what percent the opponent is at. If you main Roy, you are not above spamming down throw into up special. If you main Chrom, I get the feeling you don't know what you're doing. If you main Mr. Game & Watch, you waste a lot of time trying to pull a 9 with Judge. If you main Meta Knight, it's because you're edgy as fuck. Pit mains are prone to failed recoveries, despite having one of the best in the game. Dark Pit mains prefer playing the game with Smash Balls turned on. If you main Zero Suit Samus, you are a man or woman of culture, with refined tastes whose opinions should be held in high regard. If you main Wario, you are not funny. No one thinks you are. Choosing this fighter is not endearing. You're a tryhard. If you main Snake, your favorite move is his up smash, and it even works sometimes. If you main Ike, you probably fight for your friends, and are least likely to offer sympathy to others. If you main Pokemon Trainer, you prefer using the girl ult instead of the male ult. Me too. If you main Diddy Kong, your favorite ult is the pink one, and you're praying someone notices. If you main Lucas, you probably insist loudly that Ness couldn't be more different from your choice. If you main Sonic, up air into up special into up air is your favorite way to take a stock. If you main King DDD, never underestimate the power of spamming your jab and almost letting your opponent go before you take them by surprise with forward smash. If you main Olimar, then being within 12 feet of Ganondorf causes you to lose the game. If you're a Lucario main, you would still choose him even if he didn't have his aura. If you main Rob, you prefer playing with items and hazards turned on, and your go-to strat is to knock your opponent into fire. If you main Toon Link, you don't think twice about making a phone call or answering the door. You are the opposite of social anxiety. If you main Wolf, your favorite game is probably Mass Effect. I'm sorry, Mass Effect 3, my bad. If you main Villager, you don't take matchups into consideration. As long as you can bury your opponent with down smash and make them watch as you plant, grow, and cut down a tree to take their last stock, you're happy. If you main Mega Man, you probably have like one friend, but they're a really good friend. Quality over quantity, right? If you main Wii Fit Trainer, you're gonna try and get me off stage, even if that actually benefits my fighter. If you main Rosalina and Luma, you get invited to places a lot. It's a shame you're a complete introvert. If you main Little Mac, you die a lot. Don't get me wrong, I like Little Mac. You still die a lot though. If you main Greninja, there is a 90% chance you use the purple ult. If you main me Brawler, you have definitely made Skull Kid and added him to the roster. If you main me Sword Fighter, you really hate team battles. If you main me Gunner, you love team battles. If you main Palutena, you are not above baiting your opponents into chasing you off stage and warping back to safety as they exit recovery range. If you main Pac-Man, you should join a gym. You're out of shape. If you main Robin, you feel like people don't understand or respect the reach the Levin sword has in your up air, and you're okay with this. If you main Shulk, you probably pack a lunch when you go over to a friend's house to play Smash, and it's only weird because you're like 30 now. If you main Bowser Jr., you are not above spamming neutral B and down B. Weirdly, this works more often than not. If you main Duck Hunt, your favorite thing to do is edgeguard with the tin can. If you main Ryu, you go 2 rounds playing Smash with your friends before you ask if you can all play Street Fighter instead, because you're tired of losing. If you main Ken, you like to keep it on the down low. There's no special reason, you just feel weirdly self-conscious about choosing this fighter. If you main Cloud, you either have an anime girl as your profile picture, or have at least considered it. If you main Corrin, your favorite way to style is edgeguarding offstage with side B and then coming back the way you came. If you main Bayonetta, most of your spikes are a result of edgeguarding with her down smash. You've never willingly been off stage in your life. If you main Inkling, you're just really happy to be here, aren't you? It's endearing. If you main Ridley, it just means you haven't been humiliated by a proficient Pichu player and juggled from 0 to death on the first stock. That'll change your mind, for sure. If you main Simon, you're probably a pretty competitive player, but you don't take yourself too seriously. If you main Richter, it is literally because you simply find him more aesthetically pleasing than Simon, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you main King K. Rool, shield up into up smash is entirely why you play the game at all. If you main Isabelle, you think of her as your spirit animal. If you main Incineroar, you self-destruct a lot, and wonder why you never win. If you main Piranha Plant, you probably eat your craft singles with the peel still on, don't you? If you're a Joker main, you swear this is the most overpowered character of all time, despite losing more often than not. If you're a hero main, you win tournaments just by trying to have fun. I like you. If you main Banjo and Kazooie, your favorite move is his forward smash, and if it wasn't before, it is now. If you main Terry, you prefer fighting in team battles, and then treating it like a contest to see if you or your partner can take more stocks. If you main Byleth, their side special is what drew you to this fighter. The ability to recover from the blast zone is why you stayed. If you main Min Min, you have SD'd at least a few times trying to spike your opponent off stage. If you main Steve, you consider edgeguarding to be a full-time job. If you are a Sephiroth main and are not a child, then you are actually one of the best players in the entire game. Rare as hell though. If you main Pyra and Mithra, you lean toward using Mithra for her competitive superiority, but prefer using Pyra because she's just very satisfying to use. If you main Kazuya, you're probably really easy to talk to and likable, but you look like a mean person. If you main Sora, you're either 10 or 35, and there's no way to determine this based on how you play. This has been more of my assumptions about you based on your main in Smash Ultimate. If you enjoyed this video today, then please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and comment your assumptions about people's choices of mains, and I might include them in a future video as well. Make sure to hit the bell icon and get instant updates anytime there's a new upload, and never miss out again. As always, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.